You know, it's not a secret spot, but it's always kind of been known as a surf destination.
It's a little jewel in Europe.
I heard it's a really wide open, perfect barrel, and it breaks really hard, board-breaking waves.
I've heard, you know, over the years lots of stories, and a lot of people compare it to Le Grabière in France.
Looks like a cross between a Pied, Porto Escondido.
Powerful, punchy, pretty gnarly.
Every day I score pretty good waves, so that's the best thing.
You know, I think it's the right time of the year for here, and I think we'll get some swells.
Call it good fortune, impeccable timing, or just good planning. The Rip Curl Pro Search, now in its 5th year as a World Championship Tour event, has experienced some of the most memorable surf conditions on tour.
Yeah, I've fortunately been able to surf in all 5 of the Rip Curl Search events, and my favourite would definitely have to be Mexico. That was just still some of the best waves I've ever surfed in my life.
Each year it seems like more people gravitate towards this idea of a floating contest in a different spot every time. Fortunate enough for Rip Curl, man, they've had insane waves everywhere they've gone.
The great thing about this event moving is you can move the dates. You can look at the history of a location for the last 10 years and you can go, what are the 2 most consistent weeks for swell over 6 feet in the last 10 years? In this case, the back end of October, so you go, we'll go there.
In 2009, the floating licence of the Rip Curl Pro Search heads to one of Europe's premier wave locations, Portugal.
Yeah, everybody was frothing with this contest, and now it's the time, so everybody's just desperate to watch the best surfers on our best waves.
The quiet fishing village of Peniche, found in Portugal's southwest, will play host to the 9th event on the Men's ASP World Tour and the 4th event for the Women's World Tour.
It's a really good thing for the girls, and we're all really excited because it's probably like the best waves we've seen on tour so far. So yeah, we're just excited to get out there.
Not short of options, Rip Curl contest directors have 3 possible locations to run the event. The primary site being the famous Super Tubos.
Super Tubos, it's a beach break, faces south, it's good on the north wind. And since we have a harbour next, it's a deep water beach break, that's why it gets so power. I hope they can at least have one good day in Super Tubos to show Portugal to the world, you know.
The backup spots seem like they can be just as good.
There's a lot of left-hand sort of reef that could be good if it's a bit bigger, and they've also got some other beach breaks up the coast a little bit that get a bit more swell.
You know, when it's bigger swell, it seems like it's going to be a legit wave.
One thing for sure is Tiago is going to have a hell of a lot of support, Jay.
I can only imagine Tiago's cheering squad, you know. We've got it rumoured that the weekend's going to be pretty big.
That's what I heard. It's supposed to be like 100,000 people.
I think the whole country will be here.
There's going to be so many people on the beach, that kind of scares me.
Prior to the Search event, the Men's World Tour visited the Basque Country in the north of Spain for the Billabong Pro Mundaka. Sometimes fickle, this intense barrelling left-hander can produce one of the best waves found in Europe. Unfortunately for competitors, bad swell and weather forced the majority of competition to the nearby beach break, Sopolana. With both Joel Parkinson and Mick Fanning bowing out in the early rounds, Brazilian Adriano de Souza smashed his way through the field, defeating the 9 times world champion Kelly Slater in a close fought semi-final, before taking the win over Chris Davidson, claiming his first ever WCT victory.
Being so close for 2 times, one in the Gold Coast, another one in Brazil, and just be so happy, you know, and my days are right.
Coming into this event, the world title race is extremely tight and there are mathematically 10 contenders.
Yeah, it's pretty heated right now, the title, and anything can happen, and yeah, that's why it's such an important event.
A lot of people don't really realise that there are that many world title contenders here. Everything seems like it's on Mick and Joel, which they'd have to stumble pretty hard for the other people to get into it.
As of now, I think just being in the right headspace and physical zone, I think it's Mick.
I've said from the start that it will be Joel. I think injured or not, Joel's going to give it a huge crack.
It's cool that two guys that grew up together, they're giving each other a little run for their money.
Growing up together, surfing together and competing together, it's ironic these two guys find themselves number 1 and 2 in the world, only 44 points apart.
Being the race with one of my best friends, there's other people in there, but yeah, it's cool. I'm sure we'll look back on this and have a few beers over it and talk rubbish to each other.
After winning the first 2 events of the 2009 ASP Dream Tour and being tipped as this year's contender, Parkinson relinquished his stranglehold on the ratings following 3 consecutive equal 17s.
Definitely think this year would have taken a lot of time off my life. It's been such an emotional roller coaster ride of highs and lows, and it's definitely going to be a good story for the grandkids. You know, when you actually can sit down and devour it all and digest it, but as of now, I'm kind of only thinking of the immediate future.
The day before competition was due to commence, a huge swell was rumoured to be hitting overnight.
It's like on the waves we have a massive swell coming, and I don't know if it's going to be rideable, but we'll find out.
Storm warnings forced officials to remove all webcast and media trucks from the primary site, Super Tubos, in fear of high water.
That's a concern, that everything goes fine.
Last night with that high tide, they're calling it 1540. Despite the damage, it's a little bit exciting, you know, really, to have a swell like this for the contest. And Damien Hardman's up at the other side just trying to work out if they can get started up there.
With damage control underway and competition conditions unsurfable, the contest was called off for the day, much to the delight of the jet ski patrol.
Looking at it from land, it looks like it's, it looks quite chunky, and there's the odd barrel that Mick and Taylor wanted to go out for a bit of a tail, and we went, all right, no worries, we can do that for you, and put the skis in the water and away we go. We hadn't actually expected a wave to be here, no. Even the other guys have said no one's really ever surfed or towed there before.
Yeah, it was massive ones, yeah.
I'm psyched, man. I didn't really expect to do this today.
Yeah, it's a good vibe out there. The boys are just, yeah.
Nothing beats 10-footers out there with your friend and by yourselves, That's the best. That's surfing right there. To me, that's real surfing.
Thanks, brother. That's good fun.
Following 4 lay days, men's round 1 of competition finally got underway at the newly created 4th backup venue, Morla Leicester. Electing to use the knockout format from the get-go, competitors had to be on their game. With conditions deteriorating, the Portuguese prince Tiago Perez, much to the disappointment of the entire country, was ousted by tour rookie Nathaniel Curran.
Kind of gnarly looking in and seeing everyone on the beach. He kind of had not a lot of pressure, but I didn't really have anything, so I was stoked.
It must be horrible. All crowd, all of Portugal, all on him, and I just feel really sorry for him.
The
so we ran 3 heats, and Murphy's Law, as soon as we started, the bottom really fell over the tide and the waves got pretty weak, so we stopped for a few hours, waited for the tide to come back in. It's come back in, looks a little bit more punchy.
Following worsening conditions, the event relocated to Lagido to complete the remaining round 1 heats in clean 1 to 1.5 metre left-handers. Bordered by the Atlantic Ocean to the south and west, and by Spain to the north and east, Portugal, Europe's most western country, is a truly unique part of the world.
For me, Portugal is a little jewel in Europe. From north to south, you have different climates. It's a beautiful coast, a beautiful countryside with lots of mountains, and you'll be surprised by the things Portugal can offer.
The only place that really doesn't have like a real hard European winter.
Funny, hey, how it all fits into
Yeah, the people in Portugal are amazing. As soon as we got here, they're just so friendly and they just love surfing, and it's really cool to see.
We are very friendly to other people because we love to communicate with other cultures and other people of other countries.
They really love sports and love to support their countrymen.
Yeah, they're very passionate, and it's cool to find out that people actually support other sports, not just like soccer.
I really like Portugal. For me, Portugal discovered my country, so I'm really feeling like my home.
Brazil is a big Portuguese colony, and I speak the same language, so it's almost like home.
Peniche, our event host, lies approximately 1 hour's drive north of Lisbon.
Peniche is a piscatory village. The base of this village is the fishermen's.
It has that whole kind of fisherman sort of vibe.
You could imagine it, you know, like 50, 60 years ago, just being such a simple town, you know, like of simple people, just living off the land and the ocean. And I think in a lot of ways they still do.
You know, the historical area, you have the old castles and the ports and stuff. It's a really cool mix.
It's a cool place and has the best waves of entire Portugal.
Here in the Peniche and Ericeira, plenty different breaks, and you don't really care about the wind because if it's onshore in one place, it's going to be offshore in the other one.
I've only been here for 4 or 5 days, and waves have been great every day.
There's like, you know, really fun little beach breaks, couple of little reef breaks, and then you got the rock wall here and then down the beach down there. Definitely a good spot for a van or a surf trip.
I think most of the people don't really know the potential of Portugal yet.
With unfavourable winds at the primary site of Supertubos, the call was made to move the event.
Basically, mate, just setting up for possibly 5,000 to 10,000 people.
I think we'll be fine, but we're expecting everything.
Lucky the crew had prepared.
We realised how important it was to be mobile here. We knew it was never going to be perfect here at Supertubes, so we knew we had to be mobile.
Moving to Belgas for round 2 of men's competition proved to be a huge success, attracting 15 to 20,000 spectators. surfer Marlon Lipke bowed out due to a knee injury against Australian B. Durbridge.
I saw Marlon with his head down in the water and I didn't know what was going on. Hope it's not too bad and he gets surfing quiet.
Mick Fanning, former ASP World Champion and current ASP World #1, survived a near elimination at the hands of replacement surfer Patrick Gudauskas, who pulled out all the tricks.
Yeah, just watching him nearly land that flip at the end, holy hell. You know, I was turning my shorts around.
Bobby Martinez revelled in the barrelling left-handers, inching one step closer to the sought-after trophy.
I tell my wife every time, I said, if I can win one trophy, it would be the Super one. I love the globe and I love the gold.
Claiming the highest heat score of the day with a 16.90 out of a possible 20, Australia's Taj Burrow kept the crowd entertained, pulling in and punting his way to victory.
I had a ball out there. It's a little bit smaller when you're out there than what it looks like from up top here, but really fun when they come.
All eyes then shifted to the 9-time world champion Kelly Slater in his matchup against event wildcard Owen Wright.
It's so rare that we need somebody else. We take it every day just to ourselves. And it's somebody all that we have left, but I don't know what his name is. His deck sounds like a weapon that's loaded and being pushed to our temples. Oh. 7, 2, 3, so 2-0 for Owen Wright.
I feel great. It was a really tough heat. There wasn't many waves in the heat, and Kelly definitely got the jump on us. Luckily there was one come in the last 3 minutes there. I got it, and I'm just pretty stoked to get through that one.
I think Owen clearly got the better waves. That puts me out of the title race, but you know, what do you do? You know, one guy wins, one guy loses.
Did you film the whole heat or did you just watch?
Oh, I got most of it.
Kelly had a few barrels, didn't he?
It's a pretty exciting heat to watch from the beach. Kelly wasn't sitting still. He certainly didn't want another example of what happened at Bells, you know. He was certainly on his game.
After taking down Slater at Bells this year, Owen went from strength to strength, having his best ever year on the WQS and qualifying for the 2010 ASP World Tour.
It panned out pretty well that start of the year. It was all kind of confidence building, and then it just kept going through the year.
He's had a great, incredible year on the QS.
He's killing it at the moment. He's on the biggest roll, and he's just really exciting.
You know, he's matured a lot over the last 2 years, and he's going to be a great inclusion into the tour next year.
Such a shame to see you wallow in your doubt. I fell for you, you followed me, so let me fall straight down. It's burning on your mind now that you don't have the same control. You say that you were
This year we've been to each and every event together. It's been a good year. I took a year off of work and he wanted to hang around, and it's working out really well. I don't think I'll go back to work.
Yeah, it's good. I've had him along this year. It's a bit easier there, having an older head to deal with some of the things that go on the road. So it's been great.
Yeah, he's definitely a family-oriented person. He's always got his dad around him for support, and you know, his sister Tyler's like winning events, and it's a pretty cool little family.
I guess surfing, you could say, is in the family. We all do it, and I grew up in the New South Wales South Coast at Culburra Beach. Down the South Coast, it is known for reef breaks and bigger sized swells, so it's definitely helped in that way. I guess it's all helped shaping my surfing, I guess.
He's got all the tricks, he does big turns, and the kid charges too. So he's going to be a really big asset for the tour next year and for years to come, for sure.
For the first time ever, the 2009 Rip Curl Pro Search contest includes a stop of the ASP Women's World Tour.
We love including the women in our events, and it's a good thing for the sport, it's a good thing for the women, it's a good thing for the men, and it's a good thing for ASP and the tour. It's something that we hope to continue for, next year and the years beyond.
I just thought maybe the search route, when I heard it was in Europe, might take me to France or Spain or something like that, but no, I'm really happy to be back here.
Yeah, the Rip Curl Search events, it's really important for the girls to be on board. I think it's cool that they're actually showing their really good support for the women's tour, and it's going to be good. I'm excited to see what happens.
Although not super tubos, the beach break at Belgus offered clean 3 to 4 foot waves for the early rounds of women's competition.
Hit red carpets and roll like tongues all around us, but shut down like pro-choice doctors in Texas.
Round 1 standouts included Melanie Bartels from Hawaii, whose 8-point ride secured the highest wave score of the day, edging out Alana Blanchard and Sam Cornish. Jessie Miley Dyer revelled in the peaky left, with reigning 2-time ASP Women's World Champion and current #1 Steph Gilmore another standout in round 1.
I guess first round you can kind of just shake it all off and ease on into round 3.
The surprise loss of the day was former ASP Women's World Champion Sofia Milanovic of Peru, beaten by an informed Chelsea Hedges.
Always good to be on the left, can't complain.
After shifting winds destroyed the lineup and postponed competition, the following day round 2 was greeted with beautiful, clean 2 to 3 foot reeling left-handers. Avoiding elimination and moving into round 3 was Sofia Milanovic and Rosie Hodge.
It's always tough to be in round 2, so it's sudden death, so definitely happy to get that one out of the way and looking forward to the next one.
With round 3 underway and a pulsing swell, the day was full of exciting surfing.
I've a confession to make and you're not gonna like it. You stand up and clench my fist. My left ain't turned into 15 minutes. I said I'm sorry, we could shake hands.
Standouts included Steph Gilmore from Australia, who took down Megan Abubo from Hawaii. Brazilian Silvana Lima, who took the win in a close fought heat with Jessie Miley Dyer.
I said I'm sorry, we could shake hands on it.
And young tour rookie Sally Fitzgibbons, who scored the highest heat score of round 3, a 17.67 out of a possible 20.
Just had a lot of fun out there, just sort of pulsed, and it was at least 2 wave sets each time and got a few scores.
I'm big, great underweight, but excited to be here.
It's not nice, Taylor. Come on, brother. Look how clean this car is, man. Jeez. Awesome. Oh! I hope there's waves. Super Toots hasn't been very nice to us this whole trip, so I think it's about time.
We are currently on hold every 12 minutes. And so Tank and I have decided to take the liberty of that 12 minutes and go to Super Tubes.
I walk through hell to see that face again, and I hope I will make it in the end. 'Cause guns can kill, they took my life away.
Oh, we're out there. Hey. Oh my God, that's the best wave I've seen. Hey, let's go play some volleyball first, though. I got the same wetsuit. I got your wetsuit. It looks really glassy. It looks really nice. But there's no one out there. And hopefully I get super cute.
said he was having the shocker session, but he's still having like the time of his life, I swear. The guy's going over the falls in every wave.
You never know until you go, right?
Kind of tripping out when we first came down here, and you can fully see the little banks and the potential of it, you know?
Oh, we weren't expecting anything, and it was like really fun. That was one of the best days in the last 6 weeks I've had. Just goes to show you what's going on. It's not much, but tomorrow they say it's going to be a lot bigger, so hopefully we'll get barreled.
And the predictions were right for round 3 of men's competition.
It's probably 6 to 10 feet out there. Big, challenging conditions. It's going to be pretty tough. Just looking at the ocean now, one of the biggest sets of the morning, hoping it doesn't wash us away.
Watching the guys free surfing all morning, and they were getting some sick barrels, so I guess it's going to be a good show today.
You should see some barrels today for sure, and some good wipeouts.
In a thrilling exchange, Geordie Smith and CJ Hobgood went toe-to-toe, pulling into anything that moved. Geordie emerging victorious.
You know, it comes in pretty deep out there and then just hits the, the shore break, and it just pretty much doubles up. It's pretty much like a Porto Escondida, I'd say, and yeah, a lot of power in it, and yeah, you got to be in them real early so you can, get some line going and get a barrel.
On his way to victory, Bobby Martinez got a little ambitious.
Just held me at the top, and I just went with the wave, and I didn't mean to do that though.
In the highly anticipated matchup between wildcard Owen Wright and Californian phenomenon Dane Reynolds, it was Wright who continued his juggernaut effort, taking down Reynolds in the dying minutes. Mick Fanning, in blistering form, put together the highest heat score of the round, muscling himself through one slabbing left-hander after another, including a near-perfect 9.50, defeating Fred Batascia.
Fred knocked me out this round at Mandaka, but yeah, it's good to get him back. I was sort of worried about him in these sort of conditions. He's such a great surfer in these sort of waves growing up the pipeline and stuff like that. So yeah, I was stoked to get on top of him.
For the remaining rounds of competition at the 2009 Rip Curl Pro Search, the women scored playful 2 to 3 foot beach break conditions at the backup venue of Belgus. Quarterfinal standout Rosie Hodge moves into the semis, achieving her best result this year.
It feels really good to have my best result so far, so really happy.
The highly anticipated matchup between former world champion Chelsea Hedges and current #1 Steph Gilmore didn't disappoint. It was Hedges who came away with the win, fueled by some world title motivation.
She's got 2 world titles and she's getting a bit greedy. She needs to just, settle down a bit. It's been a while since I've won. Come on, Steph.
Another standout was Coco Ho of Hawaii, achieving the highest heat score of the round to eliminate former world champion Sofia Milanovic. Semi-final time saw Chelsea Hedges smash her way through to the finals over Rosie Hodge. While young Coco Ho continued her incredible form to book a spot in her first ever WCT final.
Had some really good waves. Chelsea's also surfing really well, but I think right now Coco's in the lead, so it's been pretty interesting.
Ho collected a 7.50 and an 8.33 to combo Hedges and take the win.
Chelsea would be really dangerous on that left, getting that heat this morning, all those barrels, and it kind of just turned into a more rippable wave, and it was kind of hard on the front side, but yeah, I got lucky and got the good waves, and yeah, stayed on my board.
Today was an exceptional day for us, but I'm happy for her, and hopefully she can just keep it going.
First of yellow 1.5.
Reaching new heights every day, competitive surfing is becoming increasingly difficult to judge. As the sport's development is pushed by young surfers, the ASP judging panel is continually under pressure to re-evaluate what exactly is good competitive surfing.
I've been at the sport for 20 years now, and what we face now to what we were facing 15 years ago is like chalk and cheese. The whole sport's escalating in leaps and bounds, and naturally over the next few years we're still going to have changes.
The way the judging is at the moment, you know, they want to see those big moves, they want to see the big radical airs, and points are awarded for that. And I think in doing so, the sport's taking off again.
The hanging smoke fades from the beams in the ceiling, looking for vertical.
I know they might not know the technical aspects of airs, which works out to my advantage, because if I do an air, I'm getting big points. You know, some airs are certainly more difficult than others. That's probably what they'll start learning, I think, in the next few years.
The cold new day air flows over you.
You've got to have a pretty thick skin as a judge as well, you know. Like, judging is a subjective sport. You're not going to be able to please everyone.
Judges do have thick skin, and I think all referees and umpires do, because it's a position you can nearly never win in, you know. Everyone's going to criticise you or have their own opinions.
I've been disagreeing with the judges since 1981, mate, you know.
I don't think that any time that a human is judging any sport, be it diving, ballet, anything, there's always someone's not going to be happy.
They do realise if they want to have a chat about things, they can have a talk. And when they do, I'm lucky with the replay system, I can pull up their waves anytime and go over and get their different opinions as well.
You know, I think replay is something that needs to be used even more. The good thing about video is it shows detail and it doesn't lie.
Like some bizarre scientific experiment.
Everyone's got their own sort of likes or dislikes, and the judges are the same. And deep down, it's hard for them to really put that aside and judge the colour. But it's getting there, and you know, the guys we've got up in the panel are pretty good. You know, Perry's got a tight leash on him, and at the moment, it's, like I said before, it's probably the best it's been.
For the quarterfinals of the 2009 Rip Curl Pro Surge, the epic Super Tubos conditions continued for the men in arguably the heaviest waves this year. In a battle of the Bigfoots, B. Durbidge and Geordie Smith went head-to-head in the first quarterfinal. Needing a 9.67 with time winding down, Durbidge pulled off a miraculous tube ride, scoring the first perfect 10 of the day.
I paddled off the bank and I just paddled as hard as I could, and
dropped in and then went so round and just spat me out. And the best feeling ever when I come out, they all just hear the big roar and it's like being in the stadium.
In the second quarter-final, it was do or die for Joel Parkinson up against Bobby Martinez. Unfortunately for Martinez, it was a one-sided affair. Parko scoring an 8.60, backing it up with a perfect 10.
It's been a while coming, like a really good wave in a heat. I'm finally glad I got that little monkey off my back, and it feels like the ocean's working with me again, so it's good.
With conditions becoming quite treacherous due to a fast-moving tide, Owen Wright and Damien Hobgood swung into action for quarter-final 3.
Pretty sizey wave, peaked up and paddled into it. Fully bottom just dropped out and just come screaming out of the barrel.
10s all round and full of confidence, Owen looked unstoppable.
The next set I kind of paddled out to it and I just swung round. I don't remember too much from there.
He came out of the water concussed, he didn't know which way he was out. Had to hide his board from him. He was frantic, you know, he wanted his board, he wanted to get back out there.
What actually happened?
Seems like he's slapped the water very hard. The doctors are a little concerned that he may have burst his eardrum.
Despite being removed from the heat early, Wright's phenomenal effort earned him a spot in the semi-finals. In the final heat of the day, current number 1 Mick Fanning took on Timmy Reyes. Coming from behind in the final minutes, Fanning pulled into a beautiful tube, scoring a 9.50 and a place in the semi-finals.
The conditions were so nice, but me and Timmy just couldn't find an exit for so long, and yeah, I was just stoked to get one in the end and yeah, get through.
With slightly smaller but still excellent wave conditions continuing at Super Tubos, the Rip Curl Pro Search semi-finals got underway. Whilst Owen Wright underwent tests by event physicians, Joel Parkinson and B. Durbidge hit the water. Parkinson opened strongly, finding the better of the waves. But as the wind shifted, it was Durbidge who adapted to the changing conditions, booking a spot in the final.
Just to get a third and just to, you know, I guess get back into form is a huge confidence boost, and there's not a great deal of points between me and Mick coming into pipe, so it's still anybody's.
And the cards kept falling Fanning's way when he received a walk through to the final with Owen Wright's unfortunate exit.
They say I have a tear in my eardrum. I was prepared to go out and surf and just plug it up with some blue tack and hopefully it would go all right, but the other injuries that I got definitely weren't letting me go out there.
It was shattering when we were doing the test this morning and Chris was like, nope, and then we did another test and he was like, nope, and I was just like, oh.
I'm taking the positives out of it. I've had a great run this event. I've got a third overall, and yeah, you just got to take the positives out of it, I guess.
So for the third time in the past 4 events, current number 1 Mick Fanning was through to the final. This time up against fellow countryman and number 5 in the world, B. Durbidge.
Yeah, beating Mick. All Aussie again. Rematch from France.
I think Mick's going to take it out. He looks pretty headstrong at the moment and looks like he wants to fight someone. So.
A true student of focus and adaptability, Fanning continued his unfalterable form, lacerating the punchy wedges on his forehand to net a solid 6.67 and a 6-point ride. Durbidge, employing a similar strategy to his semi-final battle against Parko, opted to surf the shifting left-handers, but was unable to answer to Mick, scoring only a 4.27 and 5.6. Leaving Fanning to claim the 2009 Rip Curl Pro Search.
stoked to get second, but you always want to win, and got that little bit of disappointment. But yeah, can't complain. It's been a great event for me, and yeah, feel good.
Mate, Speed's insane. Anytime you come up against him, he's going to put in a huge effort, and you know, he's a great friend, but you know, he's just a true asset to the sport. It was really testing conditions out there today. It was just one of those typical hard-working days, and you know, I got lucky and put on a couple of sixes, and turned out to be enough.
Fanning's win here cements his lead, 368 points ahead of Parko on the ASP World Tour ratings. Far ahead enough to put Adriana de Souza out of the title race, leaving Parko as his only threat. The 2009 ASP World Title race now shifts to the final event of the year, the Billabong Pipeline Masters.
Anything could happen at any contest, but you know, even pipe more so, like really anything could happen.
You know, both those guys are going to be charging, and that's what it's about.
It's like the Hollywood ending to, you know, for surfing.
As the pack-up begins, the question remains, where will the surge take us next year?
You